So now a little bit about Labor for Bernie, just briefly some history on it for those who are interested in that kind of thing. It was actually started as two different projects, one by folks from Occupy Wall Street and two labor organizers, Justin Melito from the Writers Guild, who was supposed to be here, and Jeff Ray. They started with a website and a Facebook group. They had a letter to sign on as individuals if you were an endorser. The other group was started by Rand Wilson, who's the coordinator of Labor for Bernie, who's been in various unions and done fantastic stuff over his career. And John Murphy, who I have here in my notes. I was told he's a carpenter, so I assume a rank and file member of the Carpenters.
Louder, please.
And John Murphy, who was a member of Local 40 of the Carpenters. Does that make sense?
Last time I was in Boston.
Awesome. All right, that's correcting me. Okay, good. They combined their efforts after Bernie officially announced his candidacy last May. Their initial focus was to prevent union endorsements of Hillary, which I don't know that we can attribute to them, the AFL, staying out of it, but obviously the lack of endorsements for Hillary is a tacit endorsement of Bernie, right? I mean, that's the way I would read that from the unions. And to actively encourage local unions to endorse Bernie. And I think they had some success. They worked to build capacity. They used labor organizing. They worked to build capacity by growing lists, setting up Facebook pages in different states. Hundreds of folks signed that letter of endorsement in each state, which they then again used the letter to build lists, connect people, identify local leaders to spearhead statewide campaigns, and in some cases, the campaign even brought on staff. I was brought on not as a staff member of the campaign, but as kind of a consultant to liaise with Labor for Bernie in New York in advance of the primary. And we were able to draw tons of volunteers in to do get out the vote activities. And just some statistics on their reach that they built, because I think it is kind of impressive. Well, first of all, they built local organizations in Albany, Buffalo, Chicago, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, New York City, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, Iowa, Maine, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and beyond. We've worked on, Labor for Bernie folks have worked on get out the vote in most primary and caucus states. There's now the next thing is holding conference calls with state labor leaders and encouraging activists to canvass in their workplaces to identify supporters for the remaining primaries for get out the vote. And encouraging union members to run for delegates to the Democratic Party's convention in July. So the statistics on the reach were more than 12,000 supporters, a Facebook page with 27,000 likes, this is as of early April, and traffic of almost 400,000 hits per week. Now, 7 national unions actually ended up endorsing Sanders, and I don't know if we can attribute that to our efforts, but the Amalgamated Transit Union, the postal workers, the communications workers, obviously, the National Nurses United, the National Union of Healthcare Workers on the West Coast, and UE. And am I missing one? And NYSNA, the New York State Nurses. No, they're not national. I was thinking that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's somebody else. No, okay. ILWU, and ILWU, of course. So 7 unions ended up endorsing, and then 90 plus local unions, regional bodies, often denying their international officers' endorsements and their international organizations.